If I asked you what you needed the most of your business right now, you would probably say time. Yeah, some people would say money, but time. But I don't think that time is the biggest problem in the liquidation business. What I think that it's mostly the way we manage time. Because most of our time is spent dealing with repeated questions and just busy work. And in the liquidation business, things are messy. We always think that just because we're moving, we're being productive. And that's not necessarily the case. Busy work just means that we're getting stuff done, but we're not pushing that needle forward. We're not reaching our goals the way we need to. So we don't need more time. What we need is better use of our time and the time that we have. Again, being busy and making progress are not the same thing. There are specific tasks that business owners need to be doing in order to allow the business to scale and grow. Busy work does not do that. And in the liquidation business, it's easy to confuse what's important and what's busy work. Like answering messages feels like it's productive, but we're answering the same questions over and over again, and we should be able to delegate those smaller tasks. These aren't the types of tasks that allow the business to grow. It just keeps the business owner occupied. And in the liquidation business, a lot of the inventory that you bring in and just the type of business that we're in makes it feel attractive, or better said, it attracts curiosity. People always want to know what kind of inventory you have. They want to know how to sell pallets, or if you have pallets to sell, if you have truckloads, or if you got smaller quantities. They want to know if you can ship, if you can transport it from one place to another. They want to know if they can stop by to look at it. They want to know if you have Amazon, tools, electronics, whatever category they're chasing. But none of those questions are bad. The problem is that when it reaches the owner the same way, whether the person is serious or not. And that's how the day gets burned up. That's how the serious buyers, they get buried in noise. Not everything deserves the owner's attention. Just because something shows up in front of you doesn't mean that it belongs with you. And if everything reaches the owner becomes that bottleneck. And when the owner becomes that bottleneck, the business stays noisy and the business stays reactive. The business stays harder than it needs to be. The goal is not just to work harder. The goal is to use the owner's time where it actually matters. The owner's time, it should go into the decisions that only the owner should be making, like strategy, major buying decisions, negotiations, relationships with repeat buyers, partnerships, key hires, important growth conversations. The owner should spend time where judgment, leadership, and relationships matter the most. Not answering the same entry-level questions all day. That should be delegated. And not getting dragged into every little weak inquiry. Then there's work that clearly belongs to the staff, mostly labor, like unloading trucks, filling pallets, organizing the warehouse, handling the physical side of the operation. These jobs are the ones that require human effort and presence, but the staff should stay focused on the labor and operations. They shouldn't be constantly pulled off that task by weak interruptions either. What we need is good systems that protects the attention of the staff members as well. The right work needs to reach the right person. Then there's work that should never depend on the owner in the first place, like frequently asked questions. Those FAQs, those responses that we give our customers, those shouldn't rely on the owner. These should be delegated. And this is where AI and proper systems fit in. This is not hype and not as a gimmick and not as a replacement for people either. AI should support staff, not bypass them. It should filter those frequently asked questions and then qualify those customers to the owner or to the other staff members that matter. Now understand that AI is just a tool, just like a hammer is for a carpenter or a plunger is for a plumber. It's just a tool. And the way to simply look at this is in 3 buckets. Number 1, what stays with the owner, what goes to the staff, and what goes to the AI system. Most businesses don't grow because they work harder. They work because they work smarter. And they understand how to sort and delegate work. They stop letting the wrong work reach the wrong people. And that's how time gets protected. And that's how attention gets protected. And that's how business becomes less chaotic. Now let's go back to busy work and real progress, because this is where most business owners get fooled. They say they worked all day, and I believe them, but what did they actually work on? Did they move a serious buyer? Did they improve the operation? Did they strengthen the business? Did they just burn attention? Because busy is not the same as productive, and productive is not always the same as growth. A lot of owners, they don't need to do more. They need to stop carrying the wrong things. They need to stop doing the wrong things. Here's an example. A Facebook message comes in. Someone wants to know what kind of pallets you have. They ask you if you can ship. Then they ask if they can stop by. Then they ask what kind of inventory you usually carry. Then maybe they disappear. That whole thread might not go anywhere, but it still pulled attention. Now multiply that all through the week. All the inquiries that come in every week. Now, this is how the owner's time leaks away. Not always through one giant mistake. It usually through small little interruptions that happen so often that it starts to feel normal. That's what I mean by messy. The liquidation business feels messy, and because it's messy, it feels normal. All right, now let's compare that to a better system. Message comes in, and the AI comes in and responds fast. It answers one or two useful follow-up questions. Are you buying for resale? Are you looking to buy this week? Have you bought from us before? Would you like to schedule a call or a visit? Now the conversation has structure. Now weak traffic gets filtered earlier. Now serious buyers separate themselves faster. Now a human steps in at the right moment instead of the first moment. Now let me show you an example of how I used AI at a bowling alley. At the bowling alley, the AI handled the phone calls by answering all the frequently asked questions, and the AI answered it with canned answers like, what are your hours? How much is it today? But if there was a birthday party, the AI would come in and ask qualifying questions like, when do you plan to have this event? How many people do you want to come in? What time do you want it for? How many pizzas should we order? Those kind of questions. And then that's when the manager jumps in and she called the customer and closed on that deal. And then we had birthday parties for the kids at the bowling alley. Now note that I didn't say that the AI handled everything. The AI answered the preliminary questions and asked qualifying questions, so this way the manager was ready to make that call. And that's how it should work. The early layer gets handled quickly, and the higher value conversation gets handed to the right person, in this case, the manager. So for the liquidation business, the AI can still handle the repeated early traffic, and a human will step in when the opportunity becomes real. Now here's the cost of not fixing this. If you don't sort your work and delegate to the right people and systems, the business stays noisy, and the owner stays interrupted, and the staff, they stay distracted, and then the buyers, they wait too long. And the weak inquiries, they get too much attention, and the company stays busy without getting the traction it should be getting. If your business feels active all day but still feels behind, there's a good chance that it's spending its time on the wrong things. Now, there's a few objections that I hear when it comes to using AI. For example, my customers want a real person. Yeah, sometimes they do, but not every question needs a human first. A lot of people just want clear answer before they need a real conversation. Speed matters, and clarity matters, and direction matters. And again, AI is not there to remove the human side of the business. It's there to help the right people reach the right human faster. A real buyer usually wants a real answer fast, and it wants it first, and then the right person when it actually matters. The other objection that I hear is that I'll lose leads, but you're already losing leads when the replies come too late. You're already losing leads when missed calls go nowhere. You're already losing leads when serious buyers get buried under weak traffic. A good system does not create that problem. A bad process already does. AI and systems can help catch, respond, qualify, and route faster. This is not about reducing service, it's about reducing chaos. The other objection that I hear is that automation creates more chaos. But no, bad automation does. The answer is not to avoid systems, the answer is to build better ones and cleaner ones. Simpler systems, clearer handoffs, clearer roles, clearer routing. Automation should not make the business feel more complicated. It should make the business feel more organized. If it creates confusion, then it's a bad automation. All right, so yes, every owner says he needs more time. But more time by itself is not the first fix. If the owner's attention is still being spent on the wrong things, more time will get wasted too. The real fix is better sorting, better delegation, better systems, better use of AI to handle the front layer. And then AI and systems save time by protecting the attention. And that's real value. So here's the real question. What is still reaching you that should not be reaching you as a business owner? What are you still doing that the staff should be doing? And what is your staff still doing that systems should be doing? What's stealing your attention every day and pretending to be important? You don't need more time. You need better use of the time that you already have. Busy work will keep you occupied, and systems will help you grow. If you want to learn more about how AI and systems can help protect your time inside a liquidation business, please visit sdcam.com.